Caitlin Clark, 1 of 17 for her last 17 3-pointers. Is that hold on now? Is that a big deal or no deal or little deal?
Well, anything that Caitlin Clark does is a big deal, right? That's a big deal. I mean, I don't know. It's not like
you haven't really had a chance to talk about this. Give me your take on it. I can tell you got a little something coming here.
Well, no, I was just about to say something that's just going to sound bad, because I think of this, women's basketball and specifically women's professional basketball, which is starting to look more and more like the NBA game in terms of how much they're shooting, what those shooting percentages look like. But it is akin to what the NBA was shooting-wise, like right before the big Steph Curry splash onto the scene, right? And then everybody started shooting threes. So like 10 years ago, a 1 for 17 stretch in the middle of a season wouldn't look like a bad deal for even a decent NBA shooter. Just be like, all right, that's a tough stretch. But now it would look like a huge deal because these guys are all supposed to hit 40%. And that's starting to translate to the women's game too. Like you need to, the best shooters are shooting between 35 and 40%. Like that's where you need to be. And Caitlin Clark is one of the best shooters. So I guess it is a big deal, but everything Caitlin Clark does is a big deal. I find it fascinating, kind of the way that some of her peers treat her around the league. Not that it's like, hey, I mean, all's fair in love and war. Like this is the pros, right? But it is interesting the spotlight that Caitlin Clark has brought to not just that league, but to women's basketball in general at any level, that so many people don't want her to be the face of the league, don't want her to be the big draw. There's so much negativity everywhere she turns.
Do you watch any more women's basketball this year than you did in the past?
Me? No.
Okay.
No, in fact, I watched the most women's basketball in my life when I was in college, when Baylor was obviously national championship level. I still watch a lot of Baylor women's basketball, but no, I don't watch WNBA. It's just, I think I've reached my sports limit, Pete. I think I've reached my league's limit, I had to give up on lacrosse a few years ago, a sport I loved, so don't take it personal, WNBA.